Welcome into NFL Daily. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and after months of draft preparation, watching the film, going over box scores and analytics, today I am revealing my final mock draft for the 2025 NFL Draft. This is a predictive mock. This is what I think is probably going to happen on Thursday. Obviously, I'm probably not going to get most of these right, but this is what I kind of expect to happen here. Some players I think might creep into round one. And also some surprises. We got some trades for you guys. We got a bunch of great stuff on today's show for you guys. But on Thursday, me and Tom Downey, we are going to be going live on this channel for Thursday night's coverage of round one of the 2025 NFL Draft. We're going to be going live a couple hours before the draft actually begins, and then we'll have a live analysis of all 32 picks of night one there in Green Bay. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already for live coverage of all 7 rounds. We have the largest draft stream anywhere on YouTube, so we want to keep that going again this year. So click that subscribe button if you haven't already. So number one pick, guys, it's set in stone. Cam Ward is on Twitch talking about how his favorite receiver in the league is Treylon Burks, and talking about how Brian Callahan is an elite head coach, and this is just going to happen, guys. And I do think it's the right selection for the Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward, I have a top 10 grade on. I think he would have been a top 10 pick in last year's NFL draft with all the great quarterbacks that came out last year. I think he's got really great pocket presence. I think that he's got really nice playmaking instincts. I think he plays with great anticipation, which I think is going to make him a really good starting quarterback in the National Football League. That is, if the Tennessee Titans can develop his skill set. He's not perfect. He does throw some turnovers. He's not the most accurate quarterback in the world, and he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, but I do think with the Tennessee Titans needing a franchise quarterback, Cam Ward is worth that pick. The number 2 overall, I have the Cleveland Browns taking Travis Hunter, who the Browns GM, Andrew Berry, compared to Shohei Ohtani, the LA Dodger, who, of course, pitches and hits and is an absolute analytics monster. And I think the Browns, the reason why they would go with Travis Hunter here at number 2 is because they feel like they're getting 2 players in one. It sounds like they view him as a full-time wide receiver to pair with Jerry Jeudy, and he would moonlight as a cornerback in big moments to go alongside Denzel Ward in the secondary there, and pretty much just say, go man up this guy, Travis, and he's more than capable of doing both of those things. So because you're pretty much getting 2 players in one here, I think that's the right pick for Cleveland. Here at number 3, I think that the New York Giants would prefer to take Travis Hunter, but I don't expect him to be available at number 3. And I do think BPA here is Abdul Carter out of Penn State, who is an absolutely dynamic pass rusher. He's going to be phenomenal alongside Brian Burns. Now, I do think the Giants will probably trade Kayvon Thibodeau for a mid-round pick, just because if you have Abdul Carter, it's kind of redundant, the skill sets there between Thibodeau and Carter. So I do think the Giants might look to trade Kayvon. I can't imagine he'd be too happy that they take his replacement at number 3 overall. So I do think it will be Abdul Carter, but I also expect Kayvon Thibodeau to be made available as well. Number 4, I personally don't have Will Campbell graded this high. I personally would want to trade down if I were the New England Patriots if I could, but Will Campbell just seems like he's going to be the pick. Mike Vrabel has been super complimentary of Campbell's game, calling him a true left tackle. Now, I think, that arm length did affect him on his film last year at LSU, especially, going up against NFL caliber edge rushers. Kyle Kennard, who's going to go in the middle rounds out of South Carolina this year, absolutely dominated him out of South Carolina last year. But this is certainly something where the Patriots are investing in a player that they believe is going to be their future franchise left tackle to protect Drake May. So I expect that to be the pick on Thursday. Now we have our first trade of this mock draft, and I'm going to have the Chicago Bears trade up to number 5 overall. It's going to be a double pick swap here. So the Bears move up to 5 and get pick 107 from the Jags, and then the Jags will get pick 10 and pick number 41, the Bears' second round pick this year. And with the number 5 overall pick, I have the Bears taking Ashton Jeanty, running back out of Boise State. And I know that a lot of people might expect the Jacksonville Jaguars to take Jeanty at 5. That's certainly something that has gained some momentum as of late. But Gladstone, the new GM there in Jacksonville, he comes from the Los Angeles Rams. And if you know anything about the Rams, they do not take running back early. So I think that they would rather trade down. I think the team that would be willing to trade up is the Bears, who I think their number 1 target is Ashton Jeanty, and he completes a really dangerous Bears offense led by new head coach Ben Johnson. Then number 6 overall, I'm going to have the Raiders go offensive weapon here. They need a number 1 receiver, all right? And if they wait until round 2, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to get a legitimate number 1 type of guy to pair with Brock Bowers, who was excellent in his rookie season. I think you can get a really good running back on day 2 if you are the Raiders, which I do think is a priority for them. They also need corner. They could use another defensive tackle. But Teodoro McMillan is my number 1 wide receiver in this class. He's big. He's super fluid, so smooth as an athlete, great route runner that plays with great intelligence and technique. And, of course, he's a ball hawk and can make crazy catches, and he's an underrated yak threat as well. So I love Teodoro McMillan's profile. I think that he would work really well with Geno Smith, who's used to throwing to bigger targets like DK Metcalf in his career. So I would love this pairing between player and team. Number 7, Armand Membu, offensive tackle out of Missouri. The Jets want to run the football. They got Justin Fields, who, of course, can run it. Then they got Breece Hall as a running back there. I do believe that they want to feature him in this run game next year. And they got Chukwuma Okorafor as they're slated to be their right tackle. He stinks, all right? So, finish off that offensive line. Their other pieces are really good on that unit. Armand Membu's the last piece to really build one of the best offensive lines in all of football. So that one's a no-brainer to me. The number 8, this is another one where I wouldn't agree with it. I have Jalen Walker with a late round 1, early round 2 grade, but this is just going to happen, guys. Like Jalen Walker's connections with the Carolina Panthers at this point, it's just so obvious Carolina is interested in this young man. I don't think he's a true off-ball linebacker. I think he's going to have to be a true edge in a 3-4 scheme, which is what the Carolina Panthers run here under defensive coordinator Ejiro Evero. So I do think it's a good fit, and apparently this guy is interviewing off the charts. So great leader in the locker room, and I think that's important to Carolina. So I think he ends up being the pick here at number 8. Then number 9, I do have Kellen Moore pulling the trigger for Jackson Dart, quarterback out of Ole Miss, to be his new franchise quarterback. Look, man, the New Orleans Saints are trying to really establish a new culture under new head coach Kellen Moore. Jackson Dart is kind of comparable to Jalen Hurts in some of the things that they do well. They're both plus runners. They both have a very similar size profile. They both are very aggressive throwing the ball down the field. I think Hurts' touch on his deep ball is better than what Dart brings to the table, but everybody at Ole Miss talks about this kid's leadership and, the fact that this guy is going to be able to be a culture setter for his new football team. So I think that's important to the New Orleans Saints, who are starting over and building a new culture with a new head coach. So with limited options, I do think it's a little bit of a reach, but I think they get their quarterback to set their culture. The number 10, after trading down, I'll have the Jags take Mason Graham, undersized defensive tackle out of Michigan, but very disruptive, both as a run defender and as a pass rusher. I just believe that, Gladstone, the new GM there, comes from the Rams. They just took Braden Fisk, who had a phenomenal rookie season as an underrated guy. I think Graham can fit into that defense right away and be an impact player for them there in Duval. And at number 11, I'm going to go DT again. This might be a little early for some people, but I think Kenneth Grant might be going a bit earlier than people think he's going to. 340 pounds, moves extremely well. I think he's really disruptive as a pass rusher at 340 pounds, and that is super, super valuable to a lot of these teams. He also interviewed really well. He's a great kid. And I think San Francisco needs to potentially draft 2 defensive tackles to start this year for them. So I think that this is going to be a DT for them. And I think with Walter Nolan's kind of football character concerns and then Derek Harmon's injury concerns, I think Grant is the next DT off the board. Number 12, I'm going to go Jahdae Barron, cornerback out of Texas to the Dallas Cowboys. The Trayvon Diggs injury stuff, I think that it's kind of under the radar, a big issue, all right? I'm not sure if he comes back, he's going to be the same player that he once was. And, Matt Eberflus, the new defensive coordinator coming in, is somebody that really values nickel cornerback play, and they didn't get a nickel corner in free agency. So Jahdae Barron is somebody that can be their stud nickel from day one. That's a very important position for that defense. And I think that he's going to play it well from day one. Number 13, another corner coming off the board here, Will Johnson, cornerback out of Michigan. The teams that run Mike Macdonald-style defenses in this league, the Chargers, Ravens, Dolphins, of course, Seattle, they're going to cherish Will Johnson because this guy's been a number 1 corner in this defense. He already understands the verbiage in this defense already. I think that would be an invaluable skill set that the Miami Dolphins need in their cornerback room, with Jalen Ramsey likely out the door via trade this offseason. Number 14, I got Tyler Warren. This one's just super chalk. They need a tight end. Tyler Warren is a really dynamic talent at the tight end position, and it kind of gives Anthony Richardson no more excuses there in Indianapolis heading into his third year in the National Football League. Number 15, I got the Atlanta Falcons taking Mike Green, edge rusher out of Marshall. Now, Mike has some character concerns, all right, and those are going to have to check out if a team is going to be willing to take him in round one. But Atlanta is a team that has been willing to take on some of these kind of character risks before. Remember, they were in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes all those years back. I think Mike Green can be the edge rusher that they have been waiting years for at this point. Number 16, Jahad Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama, twitched up freak athlete. He's going to be one of my Sperry psychos this year. And there's not a lot of good linebackers in this class. So if you need one, like the Cardinals do, you got to get one quickly in this draft. Campbell's the best of the bunch, in my opinion, and they pulled a trigger for Campbell. So coming up here on today's edition of NFL Daily, and my final mock draft of the 2025 draft season, what are the Pittsburgh Steelers going to do at 21? Shedeur Sanders hasn't been taken yet. Is he going to make it to 21? And if so, do the Steelers pull the trigger? But before we get into the rest of my mock draft here, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Mando Whole Body Deodorant. And spring is officially in the air, ladies and gentlemen, and the weather is finally warming up. And I'm most looking forward to taking my dog out for long walks this summer and going to watch a ball game on the weekends. I'm looking forward to it even more because I've started using Mando Whole Body Deodorant, because unlike some other DOs I've tried, it can actually handle anything. Mando is safe to use anywhere on your body and is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. Also, Mando's entire line of products are baking soda free, paraben free, and you can choose from a variety of fresh scents like Cloverwoods, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport, or my favorite, Bourbon Leather. Mando has a special offer for our new customers. Get $5 off a starter pack when you use our exclusive code and link. Use code CHAT at shopmando.com. And when you guys get your starter pack here, you guys can get the body wash here in this kind of mini tube version. This is what we first tried when we started partnering with Mando quite a while back, and I loved it so much. I haven't used a different body wash since. It's absolutely fantastic. I really like the Bourbon Leather scent as well. It's really masculine, keeps you smelling fresh all day long. So Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers because it comes with a solid stick of deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the mini body wash that I mentioned, or the highly recommended deodorant wipes, and free shipping. Plus, you get, for our special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code that equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you use code CHAT at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando Whole Body Deodorant today. Speaking of teams that are willing to take on some kind of character risks, the Cincinnati Bengals take Walter Nolan, defensive tackle out of Ole Miss. Nolan has the talent to be the best defensive tackle in this entire class. He really is that good, and the flashes are really, really special. They need a good defensive player immediately, especially on the interior of the defensive line. So if Nolan is here, I think he's going to be a Bengal. Then we have our second trade of the day here, where we've got the Cleveland Browns moving up to number 18 with the Seattle Seahawks, where we're going to trade a 4th-round pick this year as well. Or actually, it's a 3rd-round pick, number 97 overall. It's at the end of the 3rd round. Sorry for the graphical error there. Then a 2nd-rounder next year in 2026, as well as the 2nd-round pick this year at number 33 overall. And with this pick here, I'm going to have the Cleveland Browns take Shedeur Sanders, quarterback out of Colorado, and pair him up with their brand new number 1 receiver, Travis Hunter. Of course, these two already have a connection that was built there in Boulder. And, I think that they would absolutely love to put these two together, all right? Right now they got Kenny Pickett and they got Joe Flacco in that quarterback room. I think that they would love to really do something right here by their new wide receiver in Travis Hunter by getting his quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, in the building as well. And they're going to be hoping that this is the quarterback wide receiver duo that turns things around there in Cleveland. Number 19, Donovan Ezeraku, the edge rusher out of Boston College, going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think if Jahad Campbell is here, that's probably who the pick is going to be for Tampa, but with him going to Arizona, I love Ezeraku's burst, bend, and then his ability to hand fight and win with finesse. He is a super productive pass rusher, just what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need on third downs. Then at number 20, Omarion Hampton, kind of chalk here. If he gets it to the Denver Broncos at 20, I can almost guarantee you that's going to be the pick. He's well built. He can play in any scheme you want. He's got great vision, acceleration, long speed. He's got it all, man. I really think Omarion Hampton's going to be phenomenal in that Denver Broncos offense for Sean Payton. Now, the final trade that we have in the first round of this mock draft here, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers moving down a couple of spots, adding another day 2 pick in round 3 at number 89 overall. And the Texans are going to move up here to number 21, where I have them taking Kelvin Banks Jr., the offensive lineman out of Texas. Now, I think Banks could go as high as like number 9 to the New Orleans Saints this year. He can play tackle. He played really well at Texas at offensive tackle, but he's got shorter arms, so he might have to play guard in the National Football League. The Houston Texans probably want somebody that can play either tackle or guard just so they can put the best 5 offensive linemen on their roster on the field. Plus, he's from Texas, so he won't have to move very far here to go play for the Houston Texans here. I love that fit between player and team. Number 22, I got Colston Loveland. More chalk here. Of course, the Michigan guy goes to the Chargers here with Jim Harbaugh, who, of course, needs a tight end in his scheme. And, of course, he knows how to use Loveland, being his former head coach with the Wolverines. He's got the championship makeup that he's looking for. I think this is a no-brainer for the Bolts. Then number 23, I have Matthew Golden falling all the way to the Green Bay Packers at number 23. Number 1 running back there with the Cheeseheads. Josh Jacobs said they need a new number 1 wideout. That's because Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs have serious injury concerns moving forward. So Matthew Golden, I think, would be a great target to pair with Jordan Love there in Green Bay. Number 24, I've got Malachi Starks, safety out of Georgia. I think this is another match made in heaven between player and scheme with Brian Flores. Harrison Smith is not going to be around for very much longer, and Starks can be kind of like a true nickel corner for them right away, almost like a star nickel player, and then he can play a little free safety, and he can eventually take over for Harrison Smith when he eventually hangs up the cleat. So I really love that fit. Number 25 here with the Steelers moving down. This is a little bit of a surprise now. I'm going to have Jalen Milroe go in round 1, go on the stage, shake the commissioner's hand, and present a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. Now, the reason why I'm having the Steelers make this move, based on everything that we're hearing about the Pittsburgh Steelers and how they feel about the Aaron Rodgers situation, they feel like Rodgers is going to sign with them this offseason. They feel like he's in their pocket. So with that being the case, Rodgers has 1, maybe 2 years left in his career. And last time they really rushed the quarterback situation with Kenny Pickett, a physically limited type of quarterback. Jalen Milroe is the exact opposite, somebody that needs to sit and learn from a veteran for a couple of years, but could be a future superstar talent. He is absolutely dynamic as a rusher, has a cannon for an arm, and he's got a high character makeup from a military background family that I think is worth betting on and investing in if you are the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 26, I'm going to have Shamar Stewart, edge rusher out of Texas A&M, go to the Los Angeles Rams. I think that with all the loops and stunts and games that they run along the defensive front in LA, Shamar Stewart with his just sheer power is perfect for that, and athleticism as well. Great run defender on the other side of Jared Verse as well, and can even kick inside if you really need him to in your 5 down front. So I really like that fit. He might go earlier than this. Apparently the NFL loves Shamar Stewart. But this is kind of the fit that I've had my eye on for a while. Number 27, James Pierce Jr., edge rusher out of Tennessee. Now, Pierce is somebody that I think needs a really strong culture, and he would get that in Baltimore with John Harbaugh and the Ravens. He does have some football character concerns, but I think that in a good, strong environment like Baltimore's, winning culture, I think that they can probably get the best out of him, and they do need an edge rusher. Number 28, I love the fit between Michael Williams, an edge rusher out of Georgia, with the Detroit Lions. They have Aiden Hutchinson, who is an elite pass rusher on one side. Michael Williams, he's got the physical profile to potentially grow into being a really, really good edge rusher in this league, but he was put in like the 4-eye position in the Georgia defense, which is more of a run defending type of alignment. Didn't get a lot of true pass rushing reps last year at Georgia, but he's got long arms. He's athletic as hell. And he's a phenomenal run defender, and you know that you're getting that with Detroit. So I absolutely love that pick for the Detroit Lions. Number 29, I have the Washington Commanders taking Jaden Higgins, wide receiver out of Iowa State. And to pair him with Terry McLaurin, another deep threat that runs great routes, is underrated after the catch. I mean, I absolutely love what Jaden Higgins brings to the table as a wide receiver, and I think that he's going to sneak into the first round, all right? Like, I think a lot of people are kind of expecting him to go round 2. I think he's going to be a future number 1 receiver in this league, and you pair him up with Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels, along with Deebo Samuel as a chess piece for Cliff Kingsbury to deploy in that Commanders offense. Look out, man. This offense is going to be scary next season. Number 30 with the Buffalo Bills, Trey Amos, cornerback out of Ole Miss. Love the fit there, guys. Amos is super technically refined. They've run a lot of off-zone coverage in that Buffalo defense. Amos is one of the best in this entire class at that. I think he's a day 1 starter for them alongside Christian Benford. I think he's phenomenal. Then number 31, unfortunately, I have my highest tape-graded offensive tackle in this entire class, and Josh Simmons falling to the evil empire here with the Kansas City Chiefs. And, he's awesome. Great arm length. The tape is unbelievable as a pass protector. And, I would hate if the NFL allowed Josh Simmons, who's a phenomenal talent and player, to fall to the Chiefs at 31. But it is a possibility because people around the league are talking about some character concerns, about some personality concerns, football character stuff. And then along with the torn ACL he suffered last year, those are 2 really tough things to have on your resume heading into the NFL draft, even though he's a great talent. Then number 32, I'm going to go Tyler Booker, a guard out of Alabama, to replace Mekhi Becton on the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. The thing about the Eagles, guys, is that they keep replenishing interior and just in general trench players. They always take trench players early in the NFL draft, and the results speak for themselves. They have the best trench play in the National Football League. Tyler Booker is perfect for their power run scheme that they like to run. And to replace Mekhi Becton, I mean, you can't think of anyone better. Number 33, because we didn't have Seattle take a first-round selection, we'll see what they do here at the top of round 2. And I'm going to have them take Gray Zabel. I mean, how do you like that, Seattle fans? The guy that you would probably want to take at 18 falls all the way to 33, and you get that additional pick for next year and an additional pick in round 3 this year as well. Zabel is somebody that's probably going to play guard, could even play center if you need him to in the league. I don't think he's got the size or the arm length to play at offensive tackle, but the Seattle Seahawks need to address interior offensive line, and Zabel still being here is just too good to pass up. So outside of the quarterbacks that we already took, this is where my other QB predictions are, in case you're wondering. Tyler Shuck with the New York Giants, Kyle McCord to the Los Angeles Rams, Quinn Ewers going to the Miami Dolphins, an interesting fit there. Dylan Gabriel out of Oregon going to the Atlanta Falcons, and then Chip Kelly taking his quarterback, Will Howard, probably on day 3 of the NFL draft. And then I want to talk about some notable exclusions from my round 1 mock draft this year. Travion Henderson is somebody that a lot of insiders that I trust, like Benjamin Albright, say is a lock to go in round 1. I didn't find a spot where Henderson made sense in my final mock. Emeka Egbuka, I think, would be somebody that would fly off the board in round 2 if he doesn't get taken in round 1. High character player, ready to play right away, just couldn't find the right home for him here. Luther Burden III, wide receiver out of Missouri, has some kind of off-the-field issues, I guess you could say personality stuff that is turning some teams off, and then also the route running needs to be better from Luther. Josh Connerly Jr., the offensive tackle out of Oregon, think he could definitely go in round 1, and I think he would be snatched up very, very early in round 2 if my scenario plays out. Derek Harmon could certainly go late round 1 as well, but he has some injury concerns. You're going to have to overlook those if you're going to take him in round 1. Nick Scouton, edge rusher out of Texas A&M, is another guy that could potentially go round 1 that I don't in my mock draft. Nick Emenwari, I honestly am lower on Emenwari. I think that he might escape outside of round 1. Then Benjamin Morrison might be one of the best corners in this class, guys, but he had significant hip issues, with injuries. So I really don't know where he stands with the medicals, but the tape is unbelievable for Benjamin Morrison. So honestly, would not be surprised at all if he sneaks into round 1. All right, the moment of truth has arrived. What was your favorite pick from my final mock draft today? And what was your least favorite? Let me know down there in the comment section. I'm sure I have a lot of Steelers fans saying Jalen Milroe, but let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. If you want more NFL draft content from me all year round, you can find me at Jack_Sperry on Twitter. I really do appreciate all of you guys making it to the end of today's video. I know it was a longer one. Tomorrow, Tom Downey has his final mock draft, and of course, Tom and I will be live on this channel on Thursday night to break down every single pick of round 1 of the 2025 NFL draft. So click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, peace out.